Let's do another round of reading your polls, who you voted for in some of these matchups that I put up on potential matchups, just stuff that came to my mind. Also, feel free to leave a comment. What are some matchups you would like to see, whether it's East versus West, East versus East, West versus West. Put some matches in the comment, and I'll definitely put up more polls to see what you guys think as far as who would win. But let's go through these that I have here. Georgi Cadorette versus Zaur Pisulv. Super big favorite to Georgi Cadorette if these guys were to face. In general, Georgi does do pretty well against top rollers unless they have some type of inside move or inside transition. We haven't seen much of both of these guys in a while. I mean, Georgi, since he lost to Levon. Zaur, I mean, we know he tore his bicep a couple years ago, I believe. We haven't really seen much of him, but he was the guy who people were saying was the next guy to potentially go against Levon at some point after he beat Vitaly at one point. But let's go to the next poll here. Morozov versus Michael Todd. This one I think is super exciting potential match on the right arm. We saw Michael Todd beat Zuranov in his last match. Morozov just beat Cadorette. I think this could be potentially a pretty good match. Pretty heavy favorite here to Morozov. That's a little bit surprising. I think, well, maybe not. I mean, I think both of these guys have really good endurance. Obviously, we know Michael Todd's endurance in the King's move. Morozov may be too technical. He may just be able to deal with the King's move, but that would be a match I would really like to see. Definitely that would bring a lot of hype, I think. That type of match, East versus what, literally an East versus West match. Another one, this one was not even close on the poll. Georgi Zuranov versus Corey West. 85% for Zuranov, 15% for West. Zuranov, no difference in both arms in the comments. Landslide win in favor of Zuranov, not close. Zuranov is a beast. He fights everyone in front of him. Zuranov literally pulled Camille's whole soul and top rolled his out of straps. Even Vitaly couldn't. Camille had to cross the center every time. Zuranov flash pinned Monster Michael Todd in straps. Zuranov got robbed. No one speaks for him. Okay, so we definitely got some Zuranov fans. Zuranov is the most underrated arm wrestler and Morozov the most overrated. They're not around the same level. I think that would be a good match. I don't know. We haven't seen Corey West in a while. I don't even know if what type of shape he's in, but I thought that would be interesting. It just was a match that came to mind. I was curious, how that would go. Now, this is kind of a joke poll. Obviously, Todd Hutchings versus a case of beer. Todd is known for having like a beer in his hand when he arm wrestles, so that was kind of a funny poll there. But Eddie Hall versus Halfthor Bjornson. They've had their beef going back to the 2017 World's Strongest Man, where there was a dispute over the Viking press, and basically Eddie won the World's Strongest Man, but it was very close because some of Halfthor's reps were disallowed on the Viking press, and then their beef started then. If you guys don't know the story, going to Strongman, but then they had a boxing fight in which Halfthor won. These guys genuinely don't like each other, and I think that would be, in terms of like the spectacle of it, that would be an entertaining build-up to a match. But I obviously think Eddie Hall has significantly more experience. He's been training for arm wrestling recently. He had his match with Brian Shaw back in December, and he's got another match coming up here at the Shaw Classic. So yeah, at this point in time, I think it's definitely understandable that most people would think Eddie Hall would win that, but Halfthor is a guy with a massive frame. If the guy was to dedicate to arm wrestling, there's no reason that he couldn't get really good, I think. Now let's read some of the comments. Eddie pulls Halfthor's full body with right arm across table with family, 2025. Interesting. Eddie's got that technique down. Thor would get destroyed so fast. This person said Thor is actually the only guy who has the genetic potential to beat Levon. I said, what about Brian Shaw? Definitely Brian Shaw also. Thor probably has better genetics for arm wrestling, but Eddie has more experience. So as of right now, Eddie wins. If Thor trained for a while, he would have the advantage. Yeah, I agree with that. That is definitely a good assessment there. Now, Sergey Kalenko put up some stuff on his Instagram that he looks like he wants another match with Matt Mask potentially. They faced last at the AWC, in which Sergey won 4-3. It was an extremely close match. So if these guys were to have a rematch, I think it would be pretty intense. I don't know how it would go, but I don't know who's leveled up more since then. But let's read the comments here. Mismatch. Kalina would destroy Mask. He's too strong. Sergey isn't worried about any match. He's busy trying to destroy East versus West. Sergey would absolutely murder Matt. Sergey made Georgi work hard, and he made Devin work as well. Kalina kills him. Kalina. There's a lot of people in the comments for Kalinachenko. However, the poll has a 67% to 33% advantage for Matt Mask. That might be a good potential match. Who knows? That could be at the Shaw Classic. I mean, I'm wondering what other matches they're going to put on that Shaw Classic card. Definitely, hopefully they announce that pretty soon. We're getting close to that. This was a match that Devin, I think I saw him talk about in some live stream where he mentioned Akimbo 69. He's the viral Russian arm wrestler guy who's pretty huge on social media, and I was wondering, how he would do against Auden, and people have him as a heavy favorite, even though I think he weighs a lot less. I don't know the exact weight, but people still favor Akimbo to win that. This person said Frauden isn't ready yet, so definitely a Larrett hater there. It depends if they allow Auden to pull with both hands. I think there's a slight chance. Blah, blah, blah. Who cares? Okay, so yeah, you got a lot of Larrett haters anytime they see Auden on a pole, but who knows? That could be a good match. I'm not sure how that would go, but Yoshi Kanai versus Petrenko at 105, that could potentially be a good match. 68% have Petrenko as the favorite, but I mean, after what Yoshi did to John Brzenk, and I got to see that in person, Yoshi was very dominant on John Brzenk. That was no joke, and he made Todd Hutchings work extremely hard. So I think people might be sleeping on Yoshi there. What do you guys think? Those were some interesting polls. Also, like I said, leave some other potential matchups in the comments, and I'll put up some more polls on my account to see what you guys think, who's going to win that. But thanks for watching. Hit like and subscribe for more arm wrestling videos. Definitely coming soon.